This is the a7riii, and to be honest, I've had this camera for 4 years, so this is a brutally honest review, everything from the good, the bad, and the things that I absolutely adore about this camera. I have had it for 4 years. I bought it secondhand. I have shot about 200,000 photos with it in all sorts of environments, from rain, wind, cold, sun, on the beach, in the sea, everything. So I can honestly tell you that this camera is incredible. It does have a few down points where it shows its age, but we'll delve into this later on. Okay, so first off, image quality. It boasts a 42.6 megapixel EMOS sensor. The image quality that I get from this camera is still comparable with the newest releases of the cameras today. The 42 megapixel allows you to crop a lot if you want, but you can also print out, and I do have things on the wall that are absolutely massive, and the image quality up close is just outstanding. If I had my time again, this is the exact camera that I would buy. I bought this 4 or 5 years ago now, so. And still today, if my budget was limited, because that is why you're here. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a new camera, this is going to be one of the best things that you can do. Yes, it does take a little bit of time to get used to. The menus are very, although intuitive, there are a lot of menus, and it is very big to get kind of accustomed to. But after you get the customizable menus down and get everything in line with how you like to use it, using it quickly on the fly is very easy, and it is very intuitive. You have your aperture, shutter speed, so that's all literally where my fingers already are the whole time. You've got your menus on here, and for someone with large hands, actually, I can do everything with one hand. And then my menu button and customizable buttons are, as you can see. So, very reliable, durable, and as it goes, something that you can use in every situation. So, let's talk about reliability and durability. It is a magnesium alloy body with impeccable weather sealing. I've only had one issue over the whole 4.5 years that I've had this camera, where I've had to replace this top unit, where I am no idea how it happened, but that is the only thing. It cost me €100, and that included all the parts and the labor that came with it. So as things go, it has been incredible. It has been through every single kind of situation that you can imagine, from the sea to the mountains and everything in between. The battery life is the new updated FZ100, I think it's called. And it just means that it shoots for a long time. I've never had to really think about my battery during a shoot. It will do 3 or 4 shoots if I'm just shooting photos. When you're getting video involved as well, it does lower a lot, but you're still getting through a whole shoot. If you have a backup battery, you never have to worry about anything, and this is something that I love about this camera. The autofocus in good light is incredible. It has got 339 points, where it will find over 68% of the screen. That does mean that it will find the face or your person that you're trying to focus on a lot of the time. As soon as you get into lower light, that is when you'll find some issues. But there are different methods of focusing. So when you're getting into those lower lights, you can change the method of focus and then still track it with your finger on the camera screen while you are shooting like this. So that is one of my favorite ways of doing something in low light. So there are ways of getting around it. So you don't always have to rely on that autofocus. You can caveat and then still get the shot that you need with the focus that you're trying to get. So the customizability, I've already touched on this, but you have 3 customizable camera settings here. So that basically means that every single camera setting that you have, everything from shutter speed, color, picture profile when you're doing video, to even aperture and everything will be set up. So every time you switch to that, it will be in that. So I use it to switch between video and photos, studio and outdoor settings. In total, you do have quite a lot of customizable menus and different ways of shooting. So I use these to go into these different scenarios. Not the most intuitive, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy to update and control. So the lens compatibility, it is an E-mount lens. So basically that means that every single E-mount lens that Sony produces, you can put on this camera. You don't want to do the crop sensor because then it comes up with a circle and then you're shooting and it's a little bit awkward. But anything like any full frame lens will literally fit on this camera. Then you have all the adapters for Canon and other brands that you can literally just fit on the front. So when I'm shooting with other people, I will bring my adapters with me just in case we need the versatility of shooting with different lenses from different brands. So they work very, very well with the ecosystem, and they are completely compatible. So if you do need that versatility of using other brands' lens, as in this is a Sigma, but it is E-mount, so I don't have the converter on here at the moment, but it's seamless. The only thing that it affects is the autofocus is a little bit slower. So you just have to take that into consideration when choosing what you're going to be shooting. So if you're shooting something fast, like fashion, some wildlife or sports, you can't go for that versatility. But if you're doing landscapes, street or anything like this, you can kind of bring that down and be more versatile with the lens that you're using. What I don't like about the camera, I have already kind of touched on some of the things. The touchscreen. It feels like they kind of said, look guys, we just need to get a touchscreen in this camera. And then they didn't actually really implement, so you don't have the touch to zoom, you don't have the selecting different menus by pressing the camera. You do have the autofocus that I talked about earlier. When you zoom in on a photo, you can move it around like this. But other than that, it's not really the most intuitive part of the camera. But something that actually, for the price point, especially now, is something I can completely get over. It is such a strong camera, especially down to the dynamic range that it provides as well. You get 15 stops, but in post you can push that even further, bringing the natural lights down and boosting the blacks. You just get a lot of detail. So in those raw files that you're getting so much information that you can actually still get that kind of more realistic view based on the fact that you've got so much data to work with in the first place. So the LCD and the tilt are the one thing about the screen that I do not like. Other than the LCD brightness, it is quite bright, but on those sunny days you are not going to see a thing. You have to have your eye glued to this thing, and for those more creative shots, you're not going to be able to accomplish it unless you're, shielding your screen a little bit. Having said that, I have used cameras that have been a lot worse. So this is mid-ground, and I can't give you a number of nits, but I think it's about between 600 and 800. The one thing I hate is the tilt. All you have is you can do a waist shot, or you can have it slightly above your head with that. So as things go, you cannot do anything from the sides. Up, you're limited. Down, you're fine. It's one thing I do not appreciate about this camera at all. You just got to kind of click and hope at this point. So not my favorite thing. Again, something that is very easy to get over in the general scheme of things, and unless you're going for something absolutely crazy and creative, that isn't going to be a massive issue. But if you want this camera for vlogging, it's not the one. You can't do the self view, you can't see it. So no, this camera for photographers only, really. I have done some video with it, and I will show you a couple of examples, because it is very, very good for video, and that is why I bought it in the first place, is for the versatility between the photos and the video. I didn't realise that there was quite a big information gap between the two. So this camera is a photography camera that can shoot videos as well. It is not specified for videos, but it will give you a really, really nice picture. If you don't want to go heavy into the post-processing, it will give you a nice, video. But it won't give you the detail unless you get the information right at the time and the lighting perfect. So, a little bit more noise in the low light, but if you manage to compensate for that in other ways, all you have to do is know a little bit about photography, and this camera is going to be the best camera that you will get for this price point. And that is a guarantee from me. Thank you.